Welcome back to the table, everybody. Today you have David and I talking about our holiday gift guide, and this one is specifically for the Euro lovers.
There's a lot of them out there, I'm sure.
Even if it's just you.
Even if you're the Euro lover, you can use this to guide yourself, I guess. We're going to talk about 5 games, some of which I'm sure you've heard about.
Yes.
But if you're watching this video because you have someone in your life that is a Euro fan and you happen to also know what a Euro is, some of these might be something you want to consider. So we're going to start out at number 5, and we're going to get this right out of the way. It's Ark Nova.
It's Ark Nova.
It's been a game, we actually had this before the end of last year.
Yeah, so we played it a lot last year even.
Yeah, we did play it a lot last year, and we didn't have it on a holiday gift guide last year because it wasn't very easy.
It wasn't accessible.
It was impossible to get.
No.
And that is one of the things we tried to do with these lists is make them games that you could actually go out and buy.
And get.
But Ark Nova is one of the biggest Euros of the year this year. If you don't already have it, it is something you might want to get for your collection. It is a tableau builder. Mm-hmm. It has a really interesting action mechanic where you're firing off these cards and then sliding them down. And of course, it's built all around building zoos, which is something I think is very relatable to just about anyone. I'm not going to go so far as to say that you could play this with anyone.
No, you definitely can't play it with anyone. But if you like Euros, if you like a little bit meatier games, Ark Nova is a great choice, right? It has a lot of different mechanics that you might have seen in other games coming together in more of an interesting way. Like even the fact that you have 2 types of tracks you're kind of going to for points, and you're trying to get them to meet up and overlap as much as possible. Just little things here or there where you'll see like, ooh, that's kind of like this game, or ooh, that's kind of like that game, comes together for one fun building a zoo experience.
Exactly, and it can be a little bit on the longer side, so if you find yourself snowed in for a few days,
perfect.
It's a perfect game to play. It'll take less than a couple days, but it might take as many as 4 hours, so just be warned. Number 4, I guess, on our list, if we're counting down.
A shorter game, for sure.
Is definitely a shorter game, and this one we don't have it up, well, we do have it up on the wall. It's the Guild of Merchant Explorers. And we talked about this for a while because it feels maybe a little less Euro-y than some of the other games. And in fact, in many ways, it kind of feels like a flip and write or a roll and
it feels more like that.
You're not writing, though, to be clear. You are flipping cards, and then everyone's looking at that card and doing something on their map, kind of like you would on a roll and write, but you're using these cubes to build these networks because you're merchants and explorers going out across these oceans, across land, with these little cubes, creating these networks, getting to the next city so that you can build another station so that you can grow from there on the next round. It's very interesting, and it has really one specifically unique aspect to it with the...
Which is the special powers you get each round. So each round there's the same set of 5 cards, I believe it is, that you're going to do that are going to tell you what to put on the map. And then each round you get a new special power, and those are asynchronous, so everyone's getting one, and you get to choose which one you want from 2 choices, and they are like rule-breaking, super cool.
Very
oh my gosh,
different.
I can't believe I can do this compared to the other turns.
Yeah, it is definitely one of those games where your powers are going to be such that you're like really enjoying yours, but you're also kind of jealous of your neighbor's power.
Yeah, you're like, wait, you got what? What can you? How did you do that many at once?
And sometimes they can be. It's like a perfect storm. You're like, when you're flipping those cards, you're like, oh, I want my power one to fire off, and they sure enough flip that card, and you're like, yes, and it lets you get that much further, setting yourself up. You're continually setting yourself up, and it really gives the feeling of building throughout the game because you're getting bigger and bigger and growing this network, and you're able to do a lot more and achieve some of the things that are, of course, as any good game would be designed, sort of out around the edges of the board. And it comes with a variety of different maps. And it is incredibly accessible.
Yes.
Like you could play this with with just about anyone.
Yeah,
I think.
Definitely. And they're quicker games, right?
Yeah.
So you can get into it easily, you can play it easily, and then you could play more than one at a time.
For
which
sure.
I think I've heard a lot of people have been doing that recently. I've just been playing one game of it after another.
Yeah, for sure. So number 3 is back to slightly heavier, and this one is also a big Euro this year, but it came out a little later in the year, and it is Endless Winter.
Yep.
And what better
time to play it than in the Endless Winter.
Endless Winter. This is a hardcore worker placement game, I would say. And they've taken worker placement and really added a bunch of different layers on it. Not only that, is the worker placement is driving a lot of different things. So there's so many things you can do. It's set in sort of Paleo-American sort of culture where you're effectively cavemen.
Yes.
And you are collecting different tribe cards. You're going hunting, collecting set collection with animals. There's this whole area control map where you're building villages. I mean, it's got a lot of things going on.
Yeah, you got set collection, deck building, area control, adding up this little tower temple piece. Going up tracks. It's got everything you want in a Euro, right? All in one. So it's definitely a game with replayability, right? You might try one strategy the first time around and then be like, okay, I really want to play it again so I can try a completely different strategy and see where that goes for me. But yeah, it's been a really hot game lately. And
Big
so I would definitely take a look at it, give it a chance if you haven't already.
Yeah, if you're a worker placement fan in particular, there's a few worker placement games on our list today.
Yes.
But this is definitely one to keep an eye on. Which brings us to our next one, which is also worker placement, and this one is very much on the lighter side. This one is called Flamecraft, and it revolves around dragons. But if
cute little dragons.
It's an adorable looking game, and it is worker placement. They're kind of not anthropomorphic dragons. They are dragons, but you're playing in sort of this village with all of these storefronts, and you're visiting these storefronts with the dragons. And again, it's worker placement. So you're going to one of these stores, and you're not just going to that store and collecting some resources, but that is a big part of it. You're collecting resources. You're taking those resources to fulfill effectively contracts, but they call it, I think, enchanting or something like that. But when you go to these stores, you not only take the action or take some resources, but then you can add a dragon to the store, and those stores can actually get between 1 and 3 dragons over the course of the game. And when you add a dragon to it, you're able to use that dragon's power or use a dragon's power. But then everyone at the table, when they go to that store again, you're able to collect even more because those dragons, as they stack up on the store, give more to the people who are visiting them. So it's kind of this interesting thing where like you go to this and you can contribute to it, but you're also making that a sweeter space for everyone to go on every turn following the one you just took.
Double or nothing kind of thing.
It is a very interesting game and incredibly accessible. I would say if you are someone, you might want to buy this for yourself. If you love Euros, if you love worker placement.
And you want to play them with others.
You've been dying to get a game to the table with your family.
Yeah.
Like if you have a family, if you have kids that are like maybe on the cusp of getting into gaming, this might be the worker placement game to try out on them. Yes. And again, it's just adorable. And the last one on our list is the Euro of all Euros this year. And
kind of the opposite end of the spectrum.
Of Flamecraft, yes. This is for the heavy fans out there. And Emily is one of those.
Yes.
This is Weather Machine from Vital Lacerda and Eagle Griffin Games. And in fact, I mentioned Eagle Griffin Games because I believe that's the only place you can get the game.
If you didn't kickstart them, if you didn't back them when it was on Kickstarter, if you're not already receiving it, then yes, you have to go to Eagle Griffin Games to get your own copy of it. But for any of the heavy Euro lovers in your life, they will want to play this game or own it if they do not already. It is Vital Lacerda's newest game. It's also worker placement, but a twist on it, right? Just like he always does. So it, again, has all the simplicity of like, there's really only 4 spaces you can go.
Just 4 spaces, right?
What could be so difficult?
Sounds simple. It's like Flamecraft.
But it does get a little more intense than that. It's all about timing. It's all about efficiency. You have some elements from his previous games, like you have the Sandra-like figure from Kanban.
What's their name?
It's not Vital, it's Lative.
Lative. I wonder how they came up with that name. That is an interesting mechanic, and as the person who's played only one Vital Lacerda game in their life, me, I played Lisboa once. Emily's played a lot more of them. I can say one of the things that I played Bot Factory as well, I suppose,
so you
which is kind of a lighter one. That whole concept of having this character of sorts following you around or moving around the board that has this sort of like dynamic impact, kind of changing up how things feel at a certain space given where they're at, is a really interesting aspect. I think I can't believe he doesn't just include that in almost every design game at this point, because it's such a unique, interesting thing.
And he made it is different. Like, it's all the things you're used to seeing, but also a little bit different, because this time that figure is not like mean per se. They can give you more things.
Just helpful, mostly?
Mostly helpful, but I would say too, it plays with the timing so much, right? Where you're like, I want to take this action, but there's already somebody there, but if I wait till this turn, should I take the better action? All the things you love about heavy Euros coming into one.
Yeah, so anyway, that is our list of 5 Euros for you, or the Euro lover in your life. If you have any questions at all about them, please make them in the comments below, and we'll try to get down there and answer what we can. We've played most of these. She's played some of them more than I have, and vice versa.
Or tell us which ones are on your list.
Yes.
What are you hoping to get this year?
Absolutely.
And we'd love to see that as well.
And stay tuned for more holiday gift lists like this. I don't know how many we're going to do, but this is probably the second one we've posted now. So take a look at all of our other ones. And like I said, if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Until next time, as always, make sure everyone has fun at the table, and we'll see you then.